Hello, friends. Welcome. This is Satish Kota on Satish Speaks on Global Trade and Geopolitics, powered by NAVATIES, an international trade and engagement platform. In the last 2 days, if you have been seeing all the news, we see that Honorable Prime Minister of Spain, Pedro Sanchez, visited India and met Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, and looked at a variety of bilateral trade and investment related opportunities. So, while you'll be seeing a lot on in all the other media channels and social media as well, now I would like to take this opportunity to talk a little bit about what happened between these two leaders, India and Spain, and I would also want to touch base upon little bit of the economy between these two countries, between India and Spain. So, what does India exports to Spain, and what does Spain exports to India? And look at understanding a little bit of that, so that if you are an small MSMEs or companies, if you want to expand into those markets, then you need to understand what is that you want to explore and where are the opportunities that lie there. Okay. So with much ado, I will start off initially talking about what uh, transcribed between the two leaders, and then we'll also talk about a little bit of economy. So I'll first share my screen. So you're able to see my screen, right? Uh, First, I will talk about the India-Spain joint discussions that happened. What is that they discussed between each other? First area was political defense and security cooperation. See, I'm going to pick from the joint discussion, the joint statement that was released by both the nations. So I will take a few points which are important from these points, because if I'm not wrong, there was about 32 points that they released. So I'll just concentrate on few important things and what is that happened between these two. And then we'll go on to the understanding the trade between the two countries. First area was political defense and security cooperation. So they discussed on rules-based international order and enhancing and reformed multilateralism, which means to say that they want to look at revamping United Nations Security Council, and we always have been seeing this that India has been always questioning the current P5 nations. And if you see or watch any of the videos by our Honorable External Affairs Minister, Dr. Shankar, he's always been talking about that UNSC has to be reformed, UN has to be reformed. Only P5 holding on to the control will not work, right? So that was discussed in this time. Then they also discussed upon having regular high level interaction, because India and Spain have not been having too much of engagements, discussion and other activities. So they decided upon having a variety of joint working commissions, joint cooperation activities, ministerial meetings, as well as engagements between the two countries. And then further, they also had a discussions on executing joint projects in the defense industry. So, for example, if you see that C-594, the aircraft that India they jointly launched yesterday at Tata program in Vadodara. The whole activity was to build Spanish defense aircrafts and on aircraft for use in Indian defense industry, especially in the Indian Air Force, and then also look at engaging not only just building, but also they want to build the whole activity in India, build and maintain those activities in India. So that was what was discussed between these two countries. Then coming to the economic and commercial cooperation areas, they discussed on improving the bilateral trade and investment partnerships between India and Spain, and the areas of cooperation that included in energy areas, including renewable energy, nuclear energy, and smart grid. Then food processing was discussed, healthcare and health services were discussed, automotive and transport infrastructure, including trains, roads, ports, and variety of things were discussed. See, Spain is good in those spaces, especially in sports, ships, and railroad related solutions, infrastructures. So a lot of cooperation and collaboration were discussed in this space. Then there was an activity to promote India-Spain CEOs Forum and India-Spain Business Summits. In fact, today, on the 29th October, there was India-Spain Business Summit that was held in Mumbai, where business owners from both countries participated there. And they also encourage the startup ecosystems to improve between the countries, and then also improve the tourism and establish direct flights between Spain and India. So this was the highlights of the economic and commercial cooperation. Then comes the year of 2026. So the discussion led into an opportunity to make year the 2026 as Spanish year of culture, tourism, and artificial intelligence. So the whole intention is to make sure during this year, that is 2026, 1 year from now, is to start engaging between Spain and India in the areas of culture activities, improve tourism engagement activities, and also give a boost and promotion of artificial intelligence. So basically, the idea is to promote Spanish culture in India and Indian culture in Spain by showcasing our museums, arts, fairs, film festivals, literature, and meeting of architects around both countries. Then they also discussed improving the tourist flows between the two countries. So basically, promote a variety of tourism areas of Spain in India and vice versa over there. So increase the more travel and tourism related activities, and then also hold various types of events and activities in order to improve effective use of artificial intelligence in these countries. Then is our cultural and people to people ties. So it was decided to have a cultural exchange program between India and Spain, and there were more cooperation to improve the cooperation in the field of films and audiovisual related theaters and audiovisual areas. So improving, showcasing of Bollywood films and other Indian films in Spain, and Spanish movies in India, and then improve the bilateral placements, or have our embassies or our missions there and their missions in India. So basically, the Spanish consulate will open up in Bangalore, and the India's consulate will be there set up in Barcelona. So basically, the idea is Spain, as of today, Spain has an honorary consul in Bangalore, but now they want to have a exclusive consulate itself in Bangalore. Okay. Then comes the EU discussions on EU-India relations. So basically, India is always been working with the EU on execution of a free trade agreement, investment protection agreement, and the GI agreement. The GI is geographical indications agreement, which takes care of Spanish GI products in India and Indian GI products in Spain. And but it's not just there, but since Spain is also part of the European Union, there also will be a tripartite agreement between European Union and all the EU member countries and India to engage into multi-party trade agreements to say what is that India can offer to these countries and what these countries can offer to India. This is always been on the high note, and a lot of activities are going on in this space. And further, Spain, because it comes on the Mediterranean region, So if you look at it, Spain will also get benefited because of the India Middle East Europe Economic Corridor project, that is IMEC project. And though IMEC's one of the primary activities is to engage with Greece, but since Spain also borders Greece, Italy in the Mediterranean Sea, they are also going to get benefited out of these activities. And finally, there was some level of discussion that happened on the global issues such as the Ukraine war, and because of what's happening between Ukraine and Russia, what kind of engagements were there. Both have raised concerns on that activity. Further, they also raised concerns on the Middle East crisis, on Israel's engagement in Gaza and Lebanon, both put together, and the crisis UN is facing in Lebanon as well. Then they also discussed on promotion on free open spaces, and on how to improve trade in this. And for also one note was that India wanted to engage with Spain in order to improve its relationship in the Latin American region. If you see, predominantly the Latin American region are was initially colonized by Spain and Portugal. So, if you see, most of the countries of Latin America speak Spanish as their primary language. So, having Spain as a partner there and put their influence, not only just the colonial influence, but also the cultural influence in the Latin American region, will improve the relations between India and Latin America. And end of the day, Spain will also get benefited out of this engagement activity. And also, Spain has invited India to join the International Drought Resilience Alliance. This is to improve drought factors that happening in the world across various regions, various continents like Africa, Southeast Asia, some part of the Middle East, and the SARC region as well, and improve the scenario over there. Further, a discussion happened on both have condemned terrorism and violent extremism like Al Qaeda, ISIS, Daesh, Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jaish Muhammad, and all their proxy groups, which are pushing a lot in the international terrorism activities, especially the countries which and also the countries which give support to these terrorist systems. Okay, so these were the activities that were discussed as part of the joint statement and released between India and Spain. Now, understanding this is what was discussed, but let's also try to discuss and understand a little bit of activity that's happening between India and Spain. So, I would like to take this opportunity to help you understand a little bit of activity that's happening between India and Spain. So the trade per se, if you look at, okay, first let me start on what are the opportunities. So like what is the trade between India and Spain? Both put together as of today, about $10 billion of trade is happening, which means India to Spain to India, that is Spain's exports to India is about 3.0, that's about $3 billion, and whereas Spain's exports to India is about six and a half. India's export to Spain is about $6.5 billion. So basically, we are India is in excess in trade with respect to Spain. Now let's look at what are the opportunities, what are the areas where Spain exports to India. I will not take upon all the areas, but I will touch base upon the top 10, 12 areas, sectors for that matter. So first area we see is about the shipping industry. So if you see shipping industry, about 529 million dollars is there. That's $500 million. Out of three, $500 million is what is been exported in the areas of shipping, boat, and floating sector, the shipping industry, the ships industry. I'm not just talking about the ports and all, I'm talking about the ships. what different kinds of vessels and different kind of structures like dredgers and cranes and those kind of things and all. Then the second area of interest is the beverage spirits and vinegars, the beverages and all. The most importantly, the wines and those kind of areas. Then we have the machineries, mechanical appliances. It's about 290 $300 million. Then we have mineral fuels with about $250 million. Then we have organic chemicals of $222 million. Then tanning and drying extracts or pigments and those kind of things like paints, varnishes, putty, and those kind of things is about $132 million. Then we have plastic related articles, which is $128 million. Then we are looking at electrical machinery of $102 million. Aluminum and articles are of $100 million. Then we have so many other objects and any other sectors perspective as a. Okay. However, if you go a little more depth, see, these are the sectors that we are talking about, right? Now let's look at a little bit more about what are the product level, a little bit of product level for us today. See, what you see this data is the trade in analytics that you can find in nowadays international trade and engagement platforms and under the trade stats, so that you can understand what is the trade happening between India and Spain. Now, going to the individual product perspective, okay, if you see what are the opportunities there. So I've already set up on sources so that we don't waste time on selection of those things. So if you look at product perspective, I beside $500,000 is on say on the shipping industry, right? Then so basically the primary is on vessels, light vessels. That is the small ships. Okay, small ships, cruise ships, or travel ships, those kind of things, which they are forms about 527 millions. So basically, this is one of the areas where they have exported a lot. Then we have wine. If you see wine bottles, $329 million worth of bottles have been exported to India from Spain. Then under petroleum, we are looking at petroleum and bituminous minerals, about $99 million. Then we also have petroleum oils, which is about $96 million. Then aluminum waste and scrap, which is about $92 million. Then we are talking about pigments. That is what we were talking about, the dyes and dye preparation, right? There's pigments. That's about $92 million. Wine. Again, as I mentioned you, this is wine of less than wine bottles is about $99 million, whereas wine which is comes in gallons or which in comes in casks is about $75 million. Then we have paper boards, some $45 million. Vehicle parts, especially the silencers and exhaust pipes and all, that's about $38 million. And perfumes and toiletries comes under $31 million. Olive oil. Spain is very well known for olive oils. India imports a lot of olive oils, especially from Spain and Tunisia and those kind of countries. That's about $30 million. Then we have iron waste scraps. Okay, I suppose stainless steel, that's about $30 million. And petroleum coke, pet coke or petroleum coke is about $27 million. So these are the products level at the product level where India imports from Spain. Okay. However, even though in the top, our primary spaces is what this is where we look at and engage with Spain as such. Okay. However, okay. Now, while you saw the trade between India and Spain from the perspective of India importing from Spain, now let us look at an opportunity what India exports to Spain. Because I mentioned, right, like Spain exports, so India exports about $6.5 million. Okay, $6.3 billion of products to Spain. Okay, so then if so, then let's look at what are the areas. What are the areas where we export to them? First area is the mineral oils, and distillation process. So effectively, like products like Mangalore refineries and those kind of things, what they export, right? That's about $980 million, almost a billion. Out of 6 billion, 1 billion is about mineral fuels and other areas. Then we also export about organic chemicals, which is about 905 million. That's again another $1 billion. Iron and steel. See, we import the scrap, but we export the iron and steel of about $475 million. That's $500 million. Then apparel and clothing accessories, that's about $461 million. Electrical machineries, especially the recorders, telephone reproducer, telephone images, sound recorders, and those kind of things. That's about $440 million. Machinery and mechanical appliances is about $374 million. Apparel and clothing is $242 million. Fish, crustacean, molluscus. India exports $189 million, especially regions of the coastal Karnataka, coastal Tamil Nadu. These exports a lot of fish and crustacean. Then iron and steel articles is $188 million. Then we have leather products, handbags, leather travel goods, and those kind of things is about $151 million. Pharmaceutical products. We all know India is the hub of pharmacy, right? So it is pharmacy hub of the world. So we export about $150 million worth of pharmacy products. Then we have vehicles, especially the two-wheelers, those kind of product bikes, and all is about $148 million. Footwear. Okay, so many of the Indian footwear are used in Spain. That is $145 million. Aluminium articles is $139 million. Textile articles, it is about 138 million. Plastic articles is $108 million. Rubber articles is about $74 million. So these are the areas where India is. These are sectors. I won't say areas. I will say sectors. So these are the sectors where India is exporting a lot to Spain. Now let's look at a little bit more on the product itself. What are the products that India exports to Spain? Okay, so let's look at the sectors. So basically, okay, let me start here. Okay, so I'll just go by the top ones only. So we are looking at product level, that is the 6 digit HRS code. Majorly, we are talking about petroleum oils, that is the $950 million that I spoke. Heterocyclic components. These compounds are about $300 million. Telephone, especially your telephone set, smartphones, and cellular and wireless networks, those kind of devices. India exports about $227 million. Though Spain imports $4.2 billion, India is exporting $227 million, which means there's still opportunity. See, if you see, India's export is only 5.35% of their imports, which means there are opportunities for India to expand into those countries. Okay, then comes seafoods, which I already mentioned earlier, right? So, and even in the seafood, the mollusks, cuttlefish, squids, those kind of things. Squids and mollusks primarily comes from the coastal Karnataka, Goa region only, mainly. So that's about $161 million. In the pharma space, we are talking about medicaments, multiple type of medicaments. That's about $126 million. In and iron and non-alloyed steels is $125 million. In textiles sector, t-shirts play an important role. We export about $70 million worth of t-shirts. Again, footwear, we are talking about especially the outer soles of rubber, plastic, or composition of leathers. That's about 68 million. Primary, it's our shoes. We are talking about the shoes, right? So that's about $68 million. And women dresses, cotton. Okay, cotton, women's or girl dresses, that's about $67 million, especially the fashion systems, right? Then we are talking about sacks of bags, that is the jute bags and those kind of textile bags and carryable bags, that's about $61 million. Vehicle parts, we are talking about gearboxes, and that parts is again another $61 million. And aluminum wrought alloys is about $58 million. Engine and engine parts is about $53 million. Okay, so there are a variety of things. If you look at, see, India exports to, there are about 5,597 different products that India exports to um, Spain. Whereas if you look at from Spain to India, we are looking at about $5,323 different set of product lines. I won't just call it as products, I'll call it as product lines. So this is what is all about the opportunities between India and Spain. But before I end, I also want to take you through a little bit of country facts about Spain. Okay, so it's always good to know about Spain and what is that country all about and others. So I'll go to my country facts in India nowadays. So basically, Spain comes under the Western European region, which is also the European Union, Western Europe country and European Union country. The capital city of Spain is Madrid. The government is a parliamentary constitutional monarchy, which means the country has a democratic parliament, but the head of the state is the monarch, which is the king of Spain. Okay, so that is what is there. Their currency is euro. The phone code is plus 34. Spain has 17 provinces. The most important cities of Spain are Barcelona, Madrid, Valencia, Seville, and Bilbao. Then they celebrate their national day on 6th of December. Coming to the demographics of Spain, we are talking about 185,000 square kilometers with a population of 23 million. More importantly, we are talking about the official language is Spanish, and Spain themselves were colonizers, so they didn't had colony. But if you look at the history of Spain, Spain had a strong influence of Persia. Persians had overtaken Spain and Portugal region, that area, and a lot of activities had happened. And but anyhow, though it had become an Islamic region, but again it came back and took over and reconverted into Christian area. And then coming to economy, their per capita income is $537. The Human Development Index is 5.55, and the GDP nominally is about $1,582 billion. That is about $1.5 trillion is the Spanish economy. Then their ease of doing business is at 30, so which means they're the top 30 developed countries. Primary industries are tourism, manufacturing, agriculture, energy and electricity, exports and imports. Investment sectors are in transport and agriculture space. If you want to get to know more about that, then you can visit investspain.org, investinspain.org. The top e-commerce websites of Spain is Amazon, eBay, and PC Componentes. Coming to the foreign relations, Spain borders France and Portugal. They are part of a variety of multilateral association, inclusive of G20 and UN and WTO and EU. They are also part of the NATO. Their total exports value is about $424 billion. Total imports is about $499 billion. And major exports are in automobiles, vehicle components, pharmaceutical powder, machinery, appliances, electrical product, plastics, fruits and nuts, food, and variety of things. Major imports again in the similar space, but more of food, edible oil seeds. They import mining minerals, vehicles and components, and those under space. India has always had a good amount of relationship with Spain. We've had a bilateral trade and economic and commercial relations agreement between us and them. So there has been a variety of export-import products between India and Spain. India currently has an embassy in Spain. We have started the consulate in Barcelona, and we also have a honorary consul in Tenerife in Spain. And whereas when coming to Spain, Spain's embassy is there in Delhi, and they have one consulate in Mumbai, and currently they have a honorary consulate in Kolkata and in Bengaluru now, because and Chennai. And but now the honorary consulate will also become a full-fledged consulate of Spain in Bangalore. So this is all about India and Spain, and relations between India and Spain. Let's hope this engagement between Honorable Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez and Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to lead into a better engagement between India and Spain, as well as India and through Spain between India and EU and India and Latin American region. With that, if you want to know more about details about all these things, you can always visit www.navaties.com and register yourself. Registration is free. You can get a variety of news, information, and activities. If you're a student looking to explore the international market, you can join our student edition and learn all about engagement of between India and the world. We cover about 500 different topics and also help you understand everything around that. You can take up exams and search for jobs in the international trade. If you are an exporter and importer, we will help you get variety of facilitation solutions and support system. Uh, and we are here to support you at all levels. With this, I'll take leave of you. This is Satish Kota signing off. Bye.